What's up, Baylor fans? This is Colt, Barber, UCF3 UC5, coming to you right after Baylor's 30-3 victory over UCF, and kind of a day that's frustrating considering how well Baylor played on both sides of the ball for the most part, and it's kind of what we expected this season in general. A 30-3 victory, probably I would say without looking, UCF's worst offensive day of the season. Held UCF to 0 of 3 on fourth down, forced 2 turnovers. All the way down to 3 points, and really impressed with what the defense did, the way they bounced back after the last 2 weeks. And I mean, it's hard to say it's encouraging because there's only 3 games left in this season, but I was really impressed with the way they bounced back. And all things considered, that was their best performance of the season. And UCF's not a great offensive team, but the fact that they run the football so well for the majority of the season in every game, even in their losses, and Baylor just shut that down entirely. I was really impressed with the game plan, the tackling, and then obviously forcing UCF into long situations, throwing the football. And once they were throwing the football, Baylor was getting their hands on the ball, passes defended, and then ultimately interceptions late in the game. And I just thought they really came to play. On the other hand, a lot of things that we've seen all season show out again in the bad way. It's the offense just stalling out multiple times. This game could have very easily been 45-3, and obviously they slowed the game down late. But when they had chances to separate, the offense just couldn't do it. And unfortunately, they got off to a fast start, 14-0, really quick, and I think that ended the game. I really feel like that was ultimately what ended the game for UCF, and they were never going to keep step for step with Baylor if they got down 14-0. They were going to have to throw the football more than they wanted to. And I think that showed in the second half. And I think the reason that game was as close as it was, even though it was never really close, the turnover by Sawyer Robertson on essentially back-to-back plays where he was sacked twice. Once where he was down. The second time was ultimately a fumble that was recovered and set UCF at their only score. I think that encapsulates what I've seen from this team all season long, and is that the offense can't always capitalize, but it also puts the defense in really bad positions. But outside of that, they play complementary football. They went down and were able to move the ball, run the football. Caden Knighton, shout out to him, 100-yard day. Thought he really ran vertically very well. He was patient, and then he picked his spots to bounce, and he did that. He had a big reception as well. And unfortunately, Bryson Washington's injuries that have kind of piled up this season are taking a toll on him, and he's very limited, and he has a role for this team, but it's obviously not the number one back right now, as we've seen the last few weeks. And I do think that prevents his offense from performing at its peak. Michael Turner didn't play today that I recall. I'd have to look at the box score, but I don't believe he had a carry. And Caden Knighton really just carried the load, and that was good to see, because we know the potential that he has as a ball carrier, as a pass catcher, and you saw that on Showcase today. It's a pretty solid UCF defense. I was just really impressed with the progress that he's made. And Michael Trigg, once again, he was limited. It seemed like later in the game when they were just going to try to run the football a little bit more. But the catches that he has are just incredible. I mean, it's consistently doing that. He'll have a highlight reel for his career of just phenomenal catches that you could break down into 3 or 4 minutes. And it's really cool to see him flourish in this passing game. Sawyer trusting him. But in general, this game was I think opened with this is a frustrating game because this team played too close to its potential, and that is something that you want to see, but you don't want to see it this late in the season when so many people have taken their mind and put it on a new coach, a new staff, a potential firing of Dave Aranda. But it does give you something to look forward to for the next 3 weeks and how this team can respond. So not a lot outside of that. I thought it was a good homecoming game. Weather was interesting, nice and cool weather, and the rain kept people away. And I know that it was I guess at the end of the day, this is just a one step closer to a final decision. And if this team figures out how to win out, I don't know. I think there's a lot of questions to still be asked if this team does win 8-4, and that's not going to be easy. And just because they win by 27 points today, doesn't mean that they're ready to beat Utah in 2 weeks. We'll see what happens. And Dave Aranda has shown what his team can do with their backs up against the wall, and I'm anxious to see the next few games. So appreciate it, Baylor fans. Talk to you soon.